right now because it's in the shop more, not than out in our building.
But if you have on a contingent item, I mean, if you put out there 500,000 feet and you have to have something, you could incorporate that as a contingent item for the person who's already going to be here all, for whatever timeline that's going to be on the 500.
How long do you think it takes for you to turn all that around?
To have bids to know what.
What we got to do here is either we make a motion table to have Kevin do this, get this information together, and come back before the board.
Yeah.
And right now you have like a 12-passenger van or something you're using?
Well, it's not 12. I mean, it's a panel van. It does, but it's filled with equipment.
Get you a truck for $2,000.
Give it the third one.
We can have further research done on more lineal footage to be TV'd and to obtain pricing on that footage as well.
We got a motion by Commissioner Delauter to table purchasing memo 12-107 for the reasons as stated until further notice of response from the division director on questions that have been asked.
Just a comment, Kevin, do you know what time frame you think it would take to get back with something?
Well, I'm going to say that the order of magnitude for that bid, I mean, if Bruce Johnson could chime in, I would think that to go through the bid process on this, I'm estimating it's going to take you at least 2 months probably to get your pricing of a
Consequences of this 2-month wait.
The only negative consequence is that we're going to be feeding spot work task orders of this nature to purchasing to when we got to do TVing that we can't do whatever.
When is this contract supposed to start?
I don't have the exact date of when that's supposed to start, but I would say here within the next week.
Something for a month or two till we get this.
You got his price, you could say, can't we use this price?
Well, I mean, each project's going to be a little different. I mean, this one, that was a larger diameter interceptor, and we've got plug and release options in there. In other words, they got to stop the flow to, so that you don't have your camera submerged, so that you can do a true inspection. Yeah. And then smaller diameter, 8-inch pipe, you may not need.
Over the last 2 months.
Brad, you have an idea? This is our superintendent of maintenance. He can give you a better idea.
How you doing?
Okay.
Our truck has been out of service most of the last 2 months, but the crew that's normally assigned to the truck continues to do service lateral inspections, which can be done with a push. The average plumber uses because we do much more inspection.
So we haven't used it for 2 months anyway.
Yeah, so we haven't. Most of the last 2 months we haven't used the truck, but when the truck's in service, we try to keep people in it 5 days a week.
I understand. I'm just saying for 2 months we haven't used it, so 2 more months till we get other pricing, we can probably make do.
The truck first, the transmission went out on it, and then once we got it back, it was in service. Once the hard drive was repaired, then it came back.
But the actual TV and equipment.
Yes. Then
two different issues.
Yeah. Then the software needed to be reloaded, and that had to be done by a gentleman because that software is so old. The company that represents the software is no longer in business, and it's one person that's bought the rights to the software that we had to ship out west to have this guy reload the software into the.
We need to find out whether or not there's a significant cost savings from potentially doing some contracting. So what we need you to do is to do an analysis of that, and you need to come back and give your recommendation in terms of.
May I elaborate a little bit?
Go ahead.
And in terms of bidding that out, I mean, that's the only way we're going to really be able to know how to do a cost comparison, and we'll have to work with purchasing to get that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
For one-time inspection, I think that would be a reasonable thing, but remember that we have to do continual inspections, and this vehicle also provides for our emergency needs. Many times, because of the older systems that we maintain, we have service laterals that were installed before the specs required cleanouts.
So if we ordered one today, how soon could you have one?
I don't know exactly how quick the turnaround is. It's probably going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
We wouldn't have a truck now for 8 months, so what are we doing now?
Well, with our emergency needs, if I could explain, the new truck has advanced technology that's going to be able to help us to do a better job.
Understand, but you don't have it yet.
Can I explain?
Sure you can.
When we
Absolutely.
When we have a service lateral that we can't inspect right now, we have to dig it up. Okay, so if there and we have to dig it up and install it. Trying to explain that there's cost savings involved.
You are being rude because you know what? There's $360,000 of taxpayer money here right now.
Right,
Okay.
So by
I'm not going to sit here and be talked to you like some punk because I'm asking questions. Okay?
Yes.
You all can finish this up.
Save the digging up of the homeowner service, which we've had to do 3 times in the last several months. If we were able to do service lateral inspections with the new piece of equipment, then we wouldn't have to dig. We wouldn't have to dig around the power cables, which are oftentimes crossing over our service laterals. So it would prevent us from spending that money. Be able to give us the homeowners an immediate deploy a crew and spend 24 hours digging up their sewer, and while they can't flush their toilets. And so, if we don't do that, then the cost then goes to the homeowner that they have to pay a plumber. Many times, which the plumber might say that they've done their portion, the homeowner's portion. The homeowner still is then billed for that cost of cleaning their service ladder. Do our main cleaning after that.
Yeah, what I was thinking is there any surrounding jurisdictions that you can correspond with or talk to that may be able to give you an assessment of whether or not there is a potential opportunity to get a bid that is productive?
That's another angle we can look at with purchasing, see if there's a piggyback contract to see what those rates are. And